Well, hello everybody. Wanted to share with you my gorgeous Thanksgiving cactus that has bloomed just right in time for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a week from today, and it's just a gorgeous day here. The weather's cool and crisp, the sky is gorgeous, and I'm back here in my sunroom making plans. I've got an orchid that I've got a decision to make today, and I just kind of wanted to share with you my thought process on it, because I hear from so many of you, you don't really know, do I do water culture? Do I do moss? Do I do bark? What do I do? And I hear you, because I make the very same decisions. Sometimes there's not really a right or wrong answer. Sometimes you kind of have to go on instinct or just a gut feeling. And so I'm going to share with you the decision I have to make with this orchid today, and we'll just see how it goes. I'm still thinking about it, still praying about it. We're going to see how this one goes. And here's my Phal Sogo Lawrence Tahiti Sunset. And I have two of them. The one on this side is also a Tahiti Sunset. This one right here has been growing in moss for about 3 years now. It's done great. I had this one in bark up until about 3 months ago, and I just noticed it was wobbly in its pot. The leaves were starting to shrivel, and it didn't look so good. So I had this one growing in the house, which, as you know, my orchids just like it back here in this sunroom. It's just perfect for them. So I thought, well, to save this plant, I'm going to have to do some water culture on it. So I'm thinking, okay, do I leave this one permanently in water culture, or should I do the same thing I did with this other one and just put it in moss? That is the question. But right now is the time to make the decision, and I'll show you why. Okay, let me tell you what you're looking at here. Here's the tip of the stem of the plant right here. And do you see how these two roots right here are almost, here, you can see it better now. Right here is the stem. Okay, if I place this one in moss, then these roots are going to go down into the moss and anchor the plant down into the moss. That is really, really important. When you've got lower roots like this, that's good, but you have to have these roots that anchor the plant down into your medium, whichever one you choose. So I've got a decision to make. It's been in here for about 3 months. Do I keep it in water culture, or do I pot this up in moss? I know it really didn't like bark. I'm beginning to think that this one likes a little bit more of a moist medium. So moss would be I believe that it would be a good choice, but I've got to make that decision here pretty soon. Now what you're looking at, the plant on the left is my Phal legato. I've had Phal legato for about 15 years, and I placed her in water culture temporarily over the summer. Same type deal. The roots just didn't look good. She was growing in my house. We had a lot of rain over the summer, a lot of rain. And I believe that maybe the orchids that were in my house that normally do very well in the house, I think they just didn't get enough light, and that could have caused the roots to rot. So I placed her in water culture for about 3 months and put her back in orchid bark. She has done great, and as you see, look at this huge spike. So water culture is a really good method for growing your orchids, even temporarily, if you notice you just don't have enough roots to get those roots going. It saved this plant, I am very happy to say. Now, this plant, I don't have a choice. I have to keep it in water culture at least until it's got some roots that are longer than what you see here. But those roots that aren't touching the water yet, those aren't what's keeping this plant hydrated. I have figured out it's these longer roots that I've got in this unusual water culture. I'm really thinking that this plant likes water culture as well. So I'm thinking this is going to be more of a permanent solution, at least for right now. That's my thought process on this orchid. So like I said, I'm still making up my mind what I'm going to do with this Tahiti Sunset that is in water culture. I also have to keep in mind that winter is on the way, and there's going to be a reduction of sunlight here in my sunroom somewhat. They do get a lot of light back here, even in the winter in my sunroom. But do I want to keep it in water culture throughout the winter, or do I want it to go into some moss? That is the question that I'm asking myself right now. I will do a follow-up video on this. If I decide to place this one in moss, I will do that video with you all. And if I decide to leave it in water culture, I'll let you know, and I will just kind of discuss my thought process with you all. It's always nice to just kind of run your ideas with someone else who grows orchids. It's always fun to kind of get people's perspective on these things. And I know you all, some of you have really got great growing skills. I'm very, very impressed with your plants as well. So just wanted to kind of think out loud, and I will let you know what I decide. So you all have a highly favored, deeply loved, and greatly blessed kind of a day, and I'll keep you posted.